What's up, guys? Colin Wayne here, and as promised, I'm doing my live Facebook question and answer. Thank you guys so much for subscribing to my new YouTube channel. I appreciate all your support. Basically what happened is earlier today I asked on my Facebook page, I did a live Facebook mentions post, and I asked everybody to ask some questions, and I would go on YouTube and answer those questions, or at least try to hit on 5 to 10, maybe 15 questions. So I just random orders. I'm going to scroll through, go on my Facebook fan page, and try to respond back to some of those questions. So let's see. I'm on my page right now, and Christy Barkdole just asked, how many times a week do you work out? It's a good question. So unlike a lot of people, I think a lot of people can think that I work out nonstop in the gym for like 2 or 3 hours a day, 7 days a week, when that's not the fact at all. I train primarily on a 6-day split, and I do a lot of HIIT type training, so like a high intensity interval training, a lot of like time under tension, paused, controlled negative, static holds, things like that to shock your muscles, where you don't have to lift stupid heavy weight, but you can, that's just my type of training, is to do a little bit less weight, more reps, and time under tension type training. To answer your question, I train about 6 days a week, but I'm not in there for hours on end. I train for about 45 minutes or so as far as weight training, and then I'll do about 30 minutes of cardio a day for about 6 days a week. Usually Sunday I take off to spend time with my family, and we just go to church, and then we always go to this Mexican restaurant, and then just kind of take the day easy on Sundays. But usually the rest of the days I'm in the gym pretty consistently. So let's see, Eden just asked, do you have a calendar? Yes, I do have a calendar. I've got 2 different calendars. On colinwayne.com, you can go and check that out. I have a fitness motivational calendar, and I also have a regular Colin Wayne calendar. All autographed by me, and then hand shipped out of my office. So yeah, and I ship worldwide as well, so hopefully that answers your question. Stephen Kushima just asked, what time is it best to work out, morning or afternoon? Honestly, I don't think that there's a nominal difference between the two. I kind of just fit it into my schedule and what works with what I'm doing for the day. Predominantly, I work out in the afternoon after I have a few meals. I've eaten a few meals. But I don't think that it really makes a difference between either working out in the morning or the afternoon. I mean, just as long as you're going and keeping that consistency, that's the main focal point, is to be consistent with your diet and your training. Let's see. Stephanie Haps just asked, do you have a special diet or routine? Yeah, I've tried a lot of different diet types. I've tried like a keto diet, I've tried carb cycling, I've tried like a high carb day or moderate carbs, and it all depends on what I'm doing. Predominantly whenever I'm getting ready for like a big magazine cover shoot, I'll do a low carb consistency. So I'll do like a low carb, moderate fat and high protein diet. So basically, to walk you through one of my main meals, which this would be probably 4 meals a day, would be 1/3 cup of almonds, 7 ounces of grilled chicken, and every other meal would be a ½ cup of quinoa, which is really good carb source and also a good protein source as well. Better than brown rice. So yeah, that's what works best for me, is a low carb consistency diet. But everybody's a little bit different. I have what I like to think of as carbs are my enemy, so I don't want as many of them. So I really limit what I'm doing. One of the every time I have a really high carb meal, my cheeks will just blow up, and it's pretty crazy. So if I go and get Italian, it's full of pizza or pasta. anything really high in carbs, that's the first thing that happens to me is my face blows up like that. And I'm walking around looking, just it looks rough. So I try to keep away from those complex carbs like that. So Giona Smith just asked, what are your future plans? And so did Stephanie Zaroska just asked, what are your plans for 2016? Good question. Glad that you asked that. So there's a lot of things in the works for 2016. I'm going to hit on a few key plans for 2016. I'm shooting a documentary specifically for Netflix, and that documentary consists of coping with post-traumatic stress disorder and veteran suicide awareness. So basically I am the spokesperson for that, and it also has a section of my life and how I've overcame the obstacles of dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder and still being successful in my field, and not taking no for an answer and getting things done. So that's one big project that I'm working on, is shooting with Malka Media Productions out of New York City for that project. The next thing is I'm opening 2 companies. One company is Premium Training Center. Basically, we are a software development website company for other personal trainers to come in and use our resources, and we help them monetize their social media for personal training. So we're a full service company for those individuals and celebrities. So we that's new, and I'm not going to go into too much detail on that, but that's one of my companies. The next company is called Redline Steel, and basically we do plasma cutting and custom designs, then also hydroponic dipping. Really cool. All that's in the works, and both companies will be launching probably within 30 to 45 days. We're still beta testing and making sure everything's operational before we go public. The next thing is I'm relaunching ColinWayne.com and my subscription site, so that's a whole nother revamp in itself. So there's a lot of moving parts, and then on top of that I've got a lot of different expos that I'll be attending. In a few weeks we have the LA Fit Expo. I'll be there as well. The Arnold Classic in March, or maybe late February in Ohio. Of course the Olympia in Las Vegas, I'll be there as well. Let's see, let's answer some more questions. What is your favorite motivational quote? Shalisha Allen just asked. Hopefully I'm not slaughtering your guys' names. Good question. There's a motivational, inspirational quote that I really like, and it says, if you woke up broke, you had no business going to bed. So think on that one. If you woke up broke, you had no business going to bed. That's a good one. Hannah Cross just asked, what's the fastest and healthiest way to lose 50 pounds? It's a good question, and honestly, it's going to vary person to person and how their body responds, and the type of exercises that they're doing, the diet regimen, if they're drinking sodas. Obviously one of the first steps is to cut your sodas out, but just kind of monitoring your soda intake. So just go straight water if you can, and then wean yourself off of that. Next thing I'd recommend is watching your complex carbs, and then getting into some type of consistency at the gym. So maybe like a low carb consistency diet. I wouldn't necessarily say go to like a keto diet and get in that ketosis state where you have no carb intake. That can be a little unhealthy for you, especially if you have any blood sugar issues. But I would also recommend a diet that is healthy in moderation of low carbs, moderate fats, moderate protein, and watch your sugar and soda intake. So primarily just drink water. And that's going to definitely hit some real results right off the bat, because if you're doing a lot of that, you're not properly doing cardio, you're not consistently on your diet, this will definitely help you. Let's see. Oison just asked, how long have you been lifting weights? Good question. I've been working out since 2009. I started working out because one of my battle buddies in the military who had deployed previously said that you need to pick up a hobby. There's a good bit of downtime while you're deployed and downrange, and so I started working out. So that's the hobby that I picked up in 2009, and here it is in 2016. And so 7 years later, it's not a hobby anymore, it's a lifestyle. So yeah, that's when I started, around June of 2009, and just haven't stopped since. Casey Dean just asked, how did you and your wife meet? Good question. Pretty cool. Actually, we did a music video together for a nonprofit organization supporting the Wounded Warrior Project. We were actually husband and wife in the video. She was dating somebody at the time, I was dating somebody at the time, so we, it was about 6 months down the road, she actually sent me a tweet on Twitter and asked how I was doing, and we just kind of hit it off from there, started messaging each other back and forth. But to answer your question, we actually met doing that music video, and so it was really cool, and I was actually a soldier in that video. That was coping with post-traumatic stress disorder and actually alcoholism due to that post-traumatic stress. So, which kind of keys back into that documentary of what I'm doing and the purpose behind it. Let me see. I'm trying to answer a couple more questions for you. Jody Cooper just asked, what's your biggest fear? Honestly, I'm afraid of heights, and so I would say heights would be a big fear of mine, and also I hate snakes and spiders. I think they're horrible and gross, and I just looking at them like kind of freaks me out. So I don't like either of them. So heights, spiders, snakes, don't like them. So let's see. How old were you when you started bodybuilding, and who was your biggest motivation and inspiration? That came from Maria. Maria, let's see, I was just no. Yeah, 19 or 20. I'm trying to think, 2009. In June, I was 19. So 19 years old, I started working out because I got back and I was still 20 when I got back from Iraq. And then I turned 21 like a month and a half later. So yeah, 19 when I started working out in 2009. My biggest motivation was Greg Plitt, who recently passed away last year, 2015, in January. He was a big inspiration. He was big in the fitness industry, just an icon of the sport. Really just genuine, good guy. Followed him because I was in the military, and also he was in the military. He was prior service captain, graduate of West Point, airborne ranger, and just a good guy overall. We actually shot in that movie The Perfect Physique together, so that was really cool for us to finally collaborate and work together. But yeah, so 19 years old when I started working out. I'm currently 26, and Greg Plitt was and still is my source of motivation and inspiration. What is your favorite quote for people trying to lose weight? Precious Mathis just asked that. I would say my favorite quote would be, I'm going to make this up, remember why you started. You know, if you start this for the right reasons and you really want something to happen, and you're doing it, like I said, for the right reasons, there's no reason why you can't be successful and achieve whatever you're wanting to. You also, for the bad days that you have that pop up, you know, you need to ask yourself, when you don't feel like eating that salad or eating that grilled chicken for the 100th time in the last month, you need to think to yourself, why did I start this diet to begin with? So really, when you can put that into your perspective in your head and have that right mentality, that's when you can go really far and achieve those goals. and that's it. My phone's at like 4%, so I'm going to go ahead and end it up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate your support, and stay tuned for more YouTube videos. Take it easy.